Chase the Vision with Isaac Mashman.
What is going on, everybody? Isaac Mashman here, host of Chase the Vision with Isaac Mashman, the show that is all about helping you become a more capable individual through me sharing my experiences and knowledge in business, life, and personal growth. Excited to have you with me for the first episode of 2022, coming to you on a Wednesday, which is a little bit different, but don't worry, every single episode from here on out is going to be coming Mondays and Fridays. But to start off the year, I want to talk about reestablishing momentum, reestablishing yourself in motion, in movement. It's very easy to have these moments of high peaks to where it's like you're getting everything done, your business is growing, your personal brand is growing online, and then all of a sudden something happened. You hit a wall, you stopped, you plateaued. And that is called burnout. Now, I'm not here to talk about burnout because personally, burnout, in my opinion, does not exist in a traditional form. What usually happens is you get burnt out on one specific thing and then you focus all of that energy doing something else. So it's like you're burnt in one area, yet you're still applying that same amount of energy towards a different subject, whether or not that subject is productive. For example, let's say you're building your business and then you pivot and now you start building yourself in a video game, or you start building yourself in the podcast or writing a book. It's like you're pivoting and redirecting that energy. So it's not so much burnout, it's more like a redirection of focus, a redirection of energy. However, at the end of the day, that redirection isn't always going to be productive when it comes to your vision, when it comes to your goals, when it comes to what you are pursuing for the long term. And that is why it's extremely important to develop a self-awareness and an understanding of where you are at, right? In order for you to change, in order for your life to be different, you have to recognize where you are at with your current situation. Where is your health? Where is your business? Where is your personal brand? Where are your marketing efforts? What is working? What hasn't worked? And where did it go wrong? Where did it go right? And sometimes you have to stop and reevaluate these different things. Now, based off of your goals and what you're trying to achieve, or what you see is of the importance based off of being a weakness, then you can say, let me go ahead and focus my energy and redirect it towards something that is beneficial, something that is going to be great in the long term because it's helping me get closer to my vision and get closer to my goals. Now, oftentimes, this is something I've seen in my own life. You have that quote burnout, which is actually redirection of energy. And then now you're a month into it and you're like, wow, I didn't do anything to build my business, but I did all these other things. What can I do to get back on track? And that's exactly what I'm here to talk to you about today. Now, before I jump into that, I would like to ask that you pay the fee for Chase the Vision. Now, I don't run advertisements. The only time you might hear me, run an ad or something like that is going to be for myself, for my company, for my book, Personal Branding and Manifesto on Fame and Influence, or as a company that I truly believe in. And that often comes in the form of, interviewing the founder and then promoting what they have going on because I actually use it and believe in it. I've done that in the past before. But regardless, if you get any ounce of value from the things I'm talking about today, make sure to pay that fee, spread that love forward, and share it with a friend, share it with a business partner, share it with a significant other, and make sure that this value continues to get into the the hearts and the households and the cars and the stereos and the speakers of more and more people. So what do you do whenever you are at a low point of your life? What do you do? And especially coming out off of the new year, right? 2022 just started. A lot of people set New Year's resolutions, and I think New Year's resolutions set you up for failure. And I've talked about this in the past, but if you wait until January 1st to start your goals or to start doing the things that you should have been doing 6 months ago or 2 months ago, you're basically procrastinating your success, and then you have to reestablish this momentum. But face it, this can happen any time of the year, right? This whole you're in momentum and then you stop, that can happen in January, February, March, towards the end of the year, and the summer and the spring, wherever and whenever it might happen and occur. You need to get back on track as quickly as possible, because the longer you wait, the more out of momentum you're going to be, the more out of touch you're going to be. And there could be a point where you might even need to take a minute to refocus and reground yourself in your business and be like, what the hell am I doing? What do I offer? What am I providing? Where did I leave off, right? Because it's kind of like a shock, right? Whenever you jump into the water and it's 70 degrees, right? I know that in Florida, I've had the opportunity of going to Itchnatuckney Springs on multiple occasions, and the water is cold. The water is colder than anything that you would ever shower in. It's like 71 or 72 degrees, and you jump in the water and your body gets into this shock. You're like, oh my God, it's freezing. And then your body gets acclimated. And I remember one time that I was with the youth group at my church at the time. We were going and I ended up getting out of my tube and I swam almost the entire time because I'm like, this is kind of nice. It was freezing cold at first, and then my body got acclimated to it. And then as I was exerting motion, as I was exerting force and energy was being burnt, my body was warming up and I felt perfect. I felt fine. It was good. It was great. And that right there, I'm thinking about that, and I'm like, that's similar how your business is. Sometimes you jump into the water, and then now it's like this sudden shock comes over your body and over your mind and over your emotions, and you're like, what the heck did I leave off doing? Now, you can either view that and get mad at yourself and say, wow, I can't believe I did this. Man, I hate myself that I did this. Yeah, accept it. Accept it. There's nothing you can do to change that. There's nothing you can do to basically go back in time and keep yourself in momentum. No, you already plateaued. You already lost that momentum. But what you can do now is refocus, realign, and say, let me get back to action. And so I'm here to share with you a couple of different things in order for you to get back into motion. Three separate things. Number one is to recognize where you are at in your situation. It is to recognize your surroundings, recognize where you left off. What was the last thing you were focusing on? What was the priority for that time? And is that old priority going to be your new priority, getting reestablished and building up this momentum? Number two is you need to go and look back at what worked back then. What did you do to get into that motion, and then start duplicating those previous results? If your results worked once before, then that means that chances are they are going to work again, because one of your goals in business, especially as you're growing your business and growing your team or even your career, the people around you, right? Let's say that you are an audio engineer and you need other people to also engineer your music or engineer for your studio. And I'm thinking of a couple of different friends that I have right now that have trained other people on what they need to look out for in order to make high quality music. Then your results in your process should be duplicatable. If you manage a podcast, you need to be able to train somebody else on your team or somebody else around you, or maybe your client's team, on how to successfully run a podcast. Your results have to be duplicatable, and that is how you can take a step out of your business or take a step out of your personal brand and allow other people to help you progress and get forward. And so step one is to recognize where you are at. And then step two is to understand what previously worked. What can you duplicate again today? And then step number three, as simple as it might sound, is to take action, right? It's to go from recognizing where you're at, understanding what worked before, and then start doing those things again to get yourself into this action momentum. Now, if I was to throw in step number four, that would be to understand what went wrong. Where did you go wrong? Now, don't look back and hate yourself and beat yourself up like I hinted at a couple minutes ago, but rather look back and have a decent self-awareness of what were you at in your life? What was going on around you? Was there something going on with your spouse? Was there something going on in your life, in your family? Was there an emergency? Did you lose interest? What did you lose interest in? Ask yourself these questions, because by developing this understanding of what led you to redirecting your focus towards something else in your life, you are now going to be able to prevent that from happening in the future. Because whenever you find yourself slipping or something going on around you, you're going to be like, I've been here before and I hated it, right? Because whenever you lose that momentum, it's a horrible feeling. And so unless you're chasing that horrible feeling, which I wouldn't recommend in this case, then you are going to want to eliminate and mitigate that risk for failure. And not failure in the sense of like you're failing at life, but if you stop, you can't give yourself a chance to win. And that is the way that you fail in the long term. That's the way you fail, by not giving yourself a chance to win. And so make sure to mitigate the chance of failure and understand where you went wrong. So step number one, if I could go ahead and recap this, it's to recognize where you are at in life. Number two, you need to understand what worked in the past. What was getting you results? What was helping you propel forward quicker? Step number three is going to be to take action. And step number four is to understand what went wrong. From there, everything's going to not be smooth sailing, but it's definitely going to help you build up these action steps and build up this momentum, build up this energy, right? In order for an object to go and continue moving, it has to let go of all of this potential. And that's the thing. It's like you're the snowball at the top of a mountain, right? Think of the snowball analogy of going downhill. You start out as this little thing, and then you build up momentum. The snow goes and gathers on around the snowball because it's the center of energy, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The mass gets bigger, and then the momentum grows, the energy grows, the speed and the rate of flow increases, and then now you're just this massive snowball going down Mount Everest, and you're not stopping now. Now, in this analogy, you obviously have to hit the ground. But I would like you to think of this in a perfect world and say that, this snowball is just going to continue rolling forever and getting bigger and bigger, like a roller coaster going up. And so, guys, don't beat yourself up if you've lost this momentum already starting in 2022. Trust me, the first 3 or 4 days of your year are not going to make you or break you. That's not how this works. You have the ability, the opportunity, the chance, the awareness, and the consciousness to be able to start fresh any day of the year. If you fall short of some of your goals in the first week of January, so freaking what? Start up again. Recognize where you're at. Understand what worked in the past. Start taking action again, and then understand where you went wrong. And you could do that as many times throughout the year as you need to until you're going to start developing this keen awareness and almost this perfection, this pursuit of perfection, which is going to set you up for success. Don't beat yourself up. Let's go ahead and keep this momentum in track, or in some cases, build this momentum back up. And with that being said, I will wrap up today's episode, and make sure to be alert for a new episode every Monday and every single Friday. Much love.